and the FDA examining that data, then making the recommendation. And also keep in mind the CDC has to weigh in. So we could be several weeks away before everyone over the age of 18 can receive those boosters, Michael.
All right, Stephanie Reynolds, thank you. George, Michael, thanks for Washington now. And the latest on the congressional investigation into the January 6th Capitol insurrection. The House committee has issued a new round of subpoenas to top Trump campaign officials and other advisors. Our congressional correspondent Rachel Scott is tracking this on Capitol Hill. Good morning, Rachel.
George, good morning. The committee is now expanding its investigation, focusing on a broader orchestrated effort to try and overturn the results of the 2020 election, issuing a new round of 6 subpoenas to former Trump campaign advisors and officials. On this list, former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, who publicly called on Trump to take drastic actions to overturn his loss. Attorney John Eastman, who reportedly wrote a memo outlining ways the former Vice President Mike Pence could reject President Joe Biden's victory. Former Trump campaign spokesman Jason Miller, ex-campaign manager Bill Stepien, who lawmakers say oversaw the effort to challenge results, and former New York City Police Commissioner Bernie Kerik, who led efforts to investigate false claims about voting fraud in key states, George.
And Rachel, there's a lot of interest in what was going on in Washington's historic Willard Hotel.
Yeah, that's right, George. The lawmakers say that some of these officials attended meetings at the Willard Hotel. That was said to be the command center in order to strategize how to overturn the election results. Lawmakers on this committee say they want to know every single detail about those efforts, including who these advisors may have been talking to at the White House or in Congress, what rallies they were connected to, who was funding it all, and they're demanding that they testify behind closed doors and turn over documents in the coming weeks, George.
Scott, thanks very much, Robin. Hey, George, now to that new testimony in the trial of Kyle Rittenhouse, the only person who survived being shot by Rittenhouse during those protests last year, taking the stand and describing the moment he confronted the defendant. Alex Perez is at the courthouse there in Wisconsin with more. Good morning, Alex.
Hey, Robin. The witness that Gage Grosskreutz described the chaos, telling jurors he did not think he would make it out alive.
Jurors, for the first time, hear from the man who was shot by Kyle Rittenhouse and survived. Gage Grosskreutz testifying about when he initially saw Rittenhouse armed with a semi-automatic rifle during protests back in August of 2020.
I thought that the defendant was an active shooter.
Thinking Rittenhouse had shot people, Grosskreutz started to follow him that night as the teenager appeared to be running away. Prosecutors playing videos Grosskreutz recorded where you can hear him questioning Rittenhouse.
Hey, what are you doing? You shot somebody? Who shot?
Rittenhouse is charged with shooting and killing Joseph Rosenbaum and Anthony Huber. Grosskreutz telling jurors he witnessed Rittenhouse shoot Huber and admitting he pointed his own Glock pistol in Rittenhouse's direction.
What was going through your mind at this particular moment? That I was going to die?
Rittenhouse shot Grosskreutz in the arm. Grosskreutz says he never intended to shoot the team, but the defense pushing back.
It wasn't until you pointed your gun at him that he fired, right?
Correct. Grosskreutz attorney insisting Rittenhouse was the aggressor.
He's the one that caused that carnage. He's the one that put people in harm's way.
And the prosecution could arrest their case later today. Rittenhouse, if convicted, could face life in prison. Michael?
All right, thank you so much, Alex. We're going to turn now to the other high-profile case making headlines right now. The 3 Georgia men facing murder charges in the killing of Ahmaud Arbery, who was unarmed and shot put to death while out jogging. The first officer on the scene testified about what he said the defendant told him when he arrived. Steve Osasami is covering the case for us this morning. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning to you, Michael. Through police body camera videos, prosecutors are describing a hunt that they say happened because the victim was black.
It is difficult for jurors to watch crime scene photos and more police body camera the day that 25-year-old Ahmaud Arbery was killed on this South Georgia street. Many of the images we can't show here. A former police officer whose camera was recording was the first on the scene and told jurors that the 3 white men accused of murder were comforting each other after the shooting.
Gregory Michael said he had no choice.
Travis McMichael is the one who fired the fatal shots, and you hear his father, a former police officer who was also armed, telling his son that the shooting was justified.
Ronnie has it on film.
William Rodney Bryant, the neighbor who recorded the cell phone video now seen around the world, is also charged with murder. And on the witness stand, the responding officer read aloud what this third defendant told him at the scene. All three men have pled not guilty.
After going back and reviewing the transcript body camera, it appeared to be approximately 5 times.
Okay. So 5 times he said that he blocked the mom.
Yes, ma'am.
Even though he was a witness for the prosecution, Arbery's mother was upset with this former police officer, saying he could have done more to help her son.
Very disturbing. He arrived on the scene and he saw a man in the middle of the road, and he also saw people, 2 other guys that were standing there.
Defense lawyers say the shooting was self-defense and justified under an old civil arrest law that was active at the time. They say the 3 men thought the victim was a neighborhood prowler or burglar, even though he is not seen on any of the many surveillance videos taking anything.
The last witness on the stand was a Glenn County police officer who testified that he didn't respond to this neighborhood for any burglary or theft calls. That's an important piece of testimony, given the suspicions that these 3 men had about this victim. Another police officer will take the stand today. He was one of the first to arrive on the scene after the shooting, and we will get to see his police body camera video as well. Back to you guys.
A lot of eyes will be on that, Steve. Thank you. George?
According to turn out in that day's breaking overnight, the passing of Quantum Leap star Gene Rockwell. Ariel Rush is here with the tributes for the Oscar-nominated actor. Good morning, Ariel.
Good morning to you, George. Stockwell was born in 1936 in North Hollywood. As a young boy, he launched a career as a child actor. That career was spanned 7 decades and some of the most memorable roles in TV and film. This morning, Hollywood remembering Dean Stockwell, whose career in film and TV spanned more than 70 years. The actor passed away at the age of 85, best known for his starring role in the sci-fi series Quantum Leap.
I think you're right. I wasn't right.
Playing Admiral Al Calavici opposite Scott Bakula, landing him 4 Emmy nominations over 5 years, from 1989 to 1993. His film career began in 1945. Stockwell in 3 movies that year, including the Frank Sinatra and Gene Kelly hit Anchors Away. 2 years later, he appeared in Gentleman's Agreement, starring Gregory Peck, which went on to win the Oscar for Best Picture. He was nominated for an Oscar for his starring role in the late 90s hit Married to the Mob. Later in life, he again found success in the sci-fi world with a recurring role on Battlestar Galactica.
I saw a star explode and send out the building blocks of the universe.
According to a family spokesperson, Stockwell died Saturday of natural causes. And Stockwell played more than 200 on-screen roles. Guys, I was doing some research, and he apparently resigned from his acting career in 2015, but became an artist showing his work all around the U.S. under his real name, Robert Dean Stockwell. He is survived by his 2 children. Very talented.
So versatile, man. What a career he had. I was a big Quantum Leap stuff. Where are you there?
Thank you, Ariel. A lot more coming up here on GMA, including concerns over holiday travel chaos, with questions about vaccine mandates for TSA and airline workers. We're going to tell you what some carriers are doing to make sure they're staffed for the holiday crush.
And Will Smith talking about his life like never before. Cannot wait to see what he said to our TJ Holmes. You know they had a good time. But first, Ginger has gone on an incredible trip to Iceland. Good morning, Ginger.
Good morning to you, Robin. Look at the beautiful landscape that is Iceland. You can see that geothermal energy they are so known for here in Icelandic island nation, powered by renewables. But now, another fight in the climate crisis. What looks behind me like a villain's lair, maybe in a Bond film, is actually vacuuming the sky of our problematic CO2. We'll tell you how it all works coming up. But of course, we have so much to get to in the weather, so much going on back in the Cascades, up to 1.5 feet of snow, accidents there at scenic Washington. Then saying storms are going to blow across the country. That means severe storm possibilities for Texas by tomorrow afternoon and evening. And then it moves through. It could be the first snow of the season for many in the Great Lakes that didn't get that lake effect. They're going to get some of that wraparound. And it's going to end up being really heavy rain by the end of the week and the start of the weekend for the East Coast. I'll have more on Iceland here in a moment. But first, the Tuesday Trivia, sponsored by Verizon. Some carriers will give you just one measly entertainment subscription. One is no fun. With Verizon, there's up to 7 entertainment subscriptions with your unlimited plan. That's 7 times the... 7 times the... 7 times the... Music, gaming, Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN Plus, and more. That's 7 times the entertainment. Because everyone deserves better. And with plans starting at just $35, better costs less than you think. Good morning, everybody. 7:18, a bright blue sky back over I-40 from our Two Rivers Ford camera in Mount Juliet. Now, it is cold and soft. We're sitting at 35 degrees in Cookville, 11 and night 39, 40s here in town, sitting at 35 in Columbia, 41 this morning in Lawrenceburg. Expecting temperatures to climb gradually throughout the remainder of the day, upper 60s by midday, 70s by 12, and we'll be back in the low to mid 70s through the remainder of the afternoon. You are looking at the world's largest direct-air carbon capture machine. It's a series of fans that sucks in that carbon, heats it up, puts it into water, and then injects it into the stone here beneath us, about a half a mile beneath the surface of the earth. This stone, all those little white parts, that's the CO2 from the air, guys. I can't wait to explain it.
That's amazing.
That is. Did you a hard hat?
Yeah.
He loves it. He loves it.
Third time this week.
That's right.
Stay right there. We'll be right back.
Magic is calling you to stay at a Disney Resort Hotel, where you're surrounded by the world's most magical celebration. The fun never stops. Special friends greet you. You soar to adventures with extra time in any of the 4 theme parks every day. The 50th anniversary awaits. So plan your vacation at DisneyWorld.com. Why would you stay anywhere else?
Shop our holiday best deals now through Saturday at Target. Save big on select floor care, kitchen appliances, TVs, and more. This week only at Target. It's my 310, no exit in sight, migraine medicine. It's Ubrelvy. For any time, anywhere migraine strikes, without worrying if it's too late or where I am. One dose can quickly stop my migraine in its tracks within 2 hours. Unlike older medicines, Ubrelvy is a pill that directly blocks CGRP protein, believed to be a cause of migraine. Do not take with strong 6-3-4 inhibitors. Most common side effects were nausea and tiredness. Ask about Ubrelvy, the anytime, anywhere migraine medicine. New Meow Mix Tasty Layers. Crunchy and meaty textures with a mouth-watering gravy coating. Meow Mix Tasty Layers. The new one cats ask for by name. I recommend Nature Made vitamins because I trust their quality. They were the first to be verified by USP, an independent organization that sets strict quality and purity standards. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. It's time to get holiday ready with Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks. Or with Ford Explorer, America's all-time best-selling SUV. And come home with the Sport. That's holiday. Get a Ford F-150, 0 for 60 and 500 retail bonus cash, plus complimentary maintenance when you sign up for Ford Pass Rewards. See your Ford dealer today.
Less moderate to severe eczema? Why hide your skin? If you can help heal your skin from within. With Dupixent, adults have long-lasting, clearer skin and significantly less itch. Serious allergic reactions can occur, including anaphylaxis, which is severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems, such as eye pain or vision changes or a parasitic infection. If you take asthma medicines, don't change or stop them without talking to your doctor. Talk to your doctor about Dupixent.
Medium speed at 723. Several lanes right, Christina, we'll have a look at traffic on the other side of this break. And a man wanted for a deadly shooting in Nashville has been arrested. Deshaun Jerome Simmons was wanted for shooting and killing 52-year-old Marty Atkins last month. Members of U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force arrested him late last night in Clarksville. Atkins' body was found on Laurelwood Drive after midnight on October 3rd. Police say he was walking home from a party when he was shot. No information on the motive has been released. News 2 keeps you covered on air, online, and on the go. We'll be right back.
It's the 53rd CMA Awards. Spend your evening with country music's biggest stars on the red carpet. It's passion and fun live from Music City. The CMA Awards live from the red carpet. Wednesday at 6:30 live on News 2. Sponsored by the Tennessee Lottery.
Zero Rose will safely clean your carpeted surfaces today with no soaps or detergents left behind to attract dirt. Call now to receive 4 carpeted rooms cleaned for only $109. Give Zero Rose a call today or look online at zeroresenashville.com. We've been doing this for a long time.
Even longer than you think, over 30 years.
Don't you think everyone knows about finishing home buyers by now?
Well, people have watched some girls grow up over the years, but maybe they haven't needed us until now. We are your trusted hometown home buyer. Accredited members of the BBB, call us today for your no obligation cash offer.
Throughout our lives, we trust our doctors because they've been there for us. That's why we worked with them to design Ascension Complete St. Thomas, a trusted Medicare Advantage plan. It includes a $0 monthly plan premium, primary care doctor copay, dental benefits, including an allowance of dentures and other dental services, $100 savings each month with a Part B premium rebate. Call 1-844-690-2934. Ascension Complete St. Thomas, a Medicare Advantage plan you can trust, made by the doctors you trust.
Meet the News 2 Educator of the Week Thursday on News 2 at 10 and Friday on News 2 this morning at 6. News 2 Educator of the Week presented by the Tennessee Lottery. Zero Rose will safely clean your carpeted surfaces today with no soaps or detergents left behind to attract dirt. Call now to receive 4 carpeted rooms cleaned for only $109. Give Zero Rose a call today or look online at zeroresenashville.com. Register your school for the News 2 Food to Family School Food Drive. Good morning on this Tuesday. We're coming to you with a breaking news alert here on Murfreesboro Road at McGavick Pike. We have a fatal pedestrian-involved crash here. Jerry Barlow's been live on the scene for a little over an hour now. You can see it's still incredibly active. I cannot emphasize this enough. Avoid this area this morning. Again, Murfreesboro Road at McGavick Pike, right in the Seven Oaks area, right as you're getting toward the airport. There's an Exxon just on the left of where that camera is right now, just to kind of give you some perspective on that intersection we're looking at. Again, this is a fatal incident, and no word yet on how long it's going to take. They're estimating until about 10 o'clock. That could change, and of course, we'll let you know. I do want to bring you over the traffic map because, again, you want to avoid the area. Parts of the road are still open, but it's incredibly slow. So what I suggest, believe it or not, is take the interstates, particularly 24. It's not often I suggest 24 over another route, but today 24 is a lot faster than even trying to get on Murfreesboro Road or getting on 40, as 40 is a bit busy right now. We have a crash at Old Hickory Boulevard and another crash on Loving Road.
Was your father abusive?
I think so, yes.
Dad denies this. You said he would yell and spit in your face. Now the quadruplets face off with Dad.
I've never talked about this before.
New Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil. Today at 3, followed by News 2 at 4.
You know why money matters?
Ask the Corkler, who got $650,000 after an accident injured his leg.
And that motorcyclist who got $11.1 million after losing the money. Money matters. 800-561-1111.
At Fifth Third Bank, we know there are a lot of online banks out there making big promises. But what happens if you need a little help? With Fifth Third Momentum Banking, we're there for you. Like getting you your paycheck up to 2 days early and giving you extra time to avoid overdraft fees. Plus, you'll have access to over 10,000 real people when you need them. Introducing Fifth Third Momentum Banking. Just another way we're making banking a Fifth Third Bank. It's a busy time of year, so it's okay that you're not perfect. And guess what? Neither is food. But it seems safe buying perfect foods. An entire line of sustainable groceries that may not be perfect, but are still perfectly delicious. Embrace imperfection with us at imperfectfoods.com/TV.
Anyone who's been through a car accident before will tell you money matters. Money matters.
Money matters.
Money matters.
How much? Sign your green recliner, get you.
800-565-1111.
People say they can spend half their lives over 50, which is great, but it'll take some planning. What can you do for me? So it helps to have a wise friend and fierce defender in your corner. A friend like AARP. To help your money live as long as you do. The money you earn, the money you splurge, and the money you save. Which way to live? That's why the younger you are, the more you need AARP. Join today.
Fresh flavors, classic dishes, and a new seat at the table.
What does it mean to be made true? It means every cut, stitch, and seam is made to push things forward. The last 170 years. And next. Truthfully made true.
Your shipping manager left to find themselves, leaving you lost. You need to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Indeed Instant Match instantly delivers quality candidates matching your job description. Visit Indeed.com/hire.
Back here tonight, G-Man, that's Will Smith performing last night. Singing the song we all know so well from the hit show that made him a star. Coming up in just a few moments, TJ is revealing interview with Mr. Smith, who's opening up. And noticing this a lot like never before, you have never heard Will Smith talking like this. And it's all about his favorite number one. Yep, we sit down with TJ right there. We're finding a lot of headlines this morning, including the latest on the Travis Scott concert tragedy. 8 people killed, dozens others seriously injured at the concert in Houston. Officials were worried about crowd control before the show. Scott is now saying he'll cover all funeral costs for flood admission to all attendees and offer counseling sessions to anyone affected by the tragedy. Also, right now, Governor Michelle tells ABC News that Pfizer will likely seek authorization for boosters for everyone over the age of 18. The request for Pfizer to the FDA could come as early as this week. And it starts with the end of the 15th annual Stand Up for Heroes benefit Lincoln Center here in New York City. Bruce Springsteen, Jon Stewart, so many others took the stage in New York to help raise money for our friend and colleague Bob Georgia to his foundation. Bo, Bob, and Lee, what they've been able to do is really making a difference.
Really make a big difference. And now to potential holiday travel chaos. The deadline for TSA agents to be fully vaccinated combined with staffing shortages at many airlines could spell disaster for airports with more. Good morning, Trevor.
Good morning, Michael. The holiday travel crowds are coming. Delta says the Sunday after Thanksgiving, they're expecting 550,000 passengers. That is the most of any day since the start of the pandemic. But the airline industry has already seen several operational meltdowns this year. And a lot of people are wondering if the system can handle this coming rush.
This morning with AAA predicting 4.2 million travelers will take to the sky this Thanksgiving, almost twice as many as last year. Questions are looming about vaccine mandates and if airports will have enough employees to handle that crush of passengers. TSA employees have now passed the date where they could get the shot in order to be immunized by the government's November 22nd deadline for federal employees. TSA won't tell us how many of its workers are still not vaccinated. As of 3 weeks ago, 40% had not received a shot. A source telling ABC they don't expect Thanksgiving travel to be impacted by potential terminations, saying after the 22nd, TSA workers who remain unvaccinated will be called to meet with supervisors to be counseled and educated on getting vaccinated. If they still don't get the shot, they'll receive a warning, and after that, they'd be subject to termination. American Airlines is requiring its employees to be vaccinated by January 4th, but it's not sharing how many of its employees have gotten the shot. The union
which represents the company's pilots, telling ABC 2 weeks ago they were told 27% of American pilots were still not vaccinated. They have not been given an update.
I don't know how many will choose to get the vaccination, but when they do, they cannot fly 2 days after that vaccination. And if they have a reaction that goes further, they've got to come off the schedule. So that puts a strain on the schedule already, which is built right to the maximum.
Hoping to smooth out travel, most major airlines in the U.S. are looking to fill positions by the end of the year, from pilots to maintenance techs, some even offering astronomical incentives to employees already on the payroll. American Airlines Flight Attendants Union lobbying for a pay increase. They'll be paid 150% for flights between November 23rd and 29th and December 22nd to January 2nd. And those with no absences starting next Monday through January 2nd will be paid 300% during the peak holiday stretches. And yesterday in Texas, a federal judge rejected the argument of some United Airlines workers who said the company's vaccine mandate put them in an impossible position. The judge ruled United is within their rights to put all their unvaccinated employees who don't have a medical or religious exemption on unpaid leave. Now, many people are watching to see what these mandates do to airline staffing. Guys?
Thanks very much. We're going to turn now to the latest on the fallout of quarterback Aaron Rodgers' comments about his vaccination status. Now, State Farm, which has used Rodgers in its TV commercials for decades, standing by the Datapacks star. We're going to hear now with Logan Whitwell.
Hey, good morning, George. Often when a public figure is in the midst of a scandal, the companies associated with that person have to make a choice. Do they stay close or run away? Aaron Rodgers is ubiquitous as a State Farm pitchman, and it appears it's going to stay that way.
Hey, from State Farm, Matt. Thanks again for the Rodgers race.
Standing by their spokesman. This morning, Aaron Rodgers, one of the faces of the NFL, will remain one of the faces of State Farm amid the backlash to Rodgers confirming he is unvaccinated after testing positive for COVID-19 last week.
Our little secrets.
Oh, the insurance giant releasing a statement Monday calling Rodgers a great ambassador for our company for much of the last decade, saying it does not support some of the statements he has made, but respects his right to have his own personal point of view. Rodgers' State Farm commercials are a constant presence on TV.
No Rodgers right now.
Especially on NFL Sundays. According to media monitor Apex Marketing, 25% of all State Farm ads on television the last 2 Sundays in October featured Rodgers. But last Sunday, that number plunged to 1.5%. State Farm telling Ad Age Friday it would be inappropriate for us to comment on Aaron's vaccination status, adding that its marketing for that weekend included focusing on unveiling a new commercial with NFL legend Terry Bradshaw. What about the
Bradshaw budget?
This past weekend, Wisconsin-based Prevea Health, which has sponsored Rodgers since 2012, parted ways with the quarterback after his appearance on the Pat McAfee show, where he took issue with the protocols for unvaccinated players like himself.
Unvaccinated people are the safest people in the building because we're the ones who are testing every single day and wearing masks and that time. But instead, we're being made to think that we're the dangerous ones.
But according to the CDC, unvaccinated Americans are roughly 10 times as likely to be hospitalized and 11 times as likely to die from COVID-19. The healthcare company saying it encourages helping people to get vaccinated against COVID-19.
It's always a tough spot for a brand that has a celebrity spokesperson, particularly when controversy arises like this.
There's serious money on the line here. Rodgers' endorsement deal with State Farm is worth a reported $2 to $3 million annually, and is one of the best and best-known players in the NFL. Rodgers has other lucrative deals with brands including Adidas, Bose, and TaylorMade golf clubs. No news yet on the status of those professional relationships.
Okay, well, thank you. All right, coming up, Will Smith. TJ Holmes. 101. This one you really need to see. Be more specific.
What the holidays give is meant to be shared. traditions that lift us up, and the way our celebrations are prepared. It's making room for all, so that our world doesn't feel so small. It's when moments of light bring us closer than before and illuminate those we do it for. What we value most shouldn't cost more.
On the outside, I looked fine. I got really good at masking my depression, but inside was a different story. Even though I'd been on an antidepressant for months, I was still feeling depressed. Is there anything more I can do? Yes, adding Rexulti may help. When taken with an antidepressant, Rexulti was proven to reduce depression symptoms an extra 62% compared to the antidepressant alone. So you can stay on your current treatment and help build on your progress.
Rexulti can cause serious side effects. Elderly dementia patients have increased risk of death or stroke. Antidepressants may increase suicidal thoughts and worsen depression in those under 25. Call your doctor about fever, stiff muscles, and confusion, which could be life-threatening, or uncontrollable muscle movements, which may be permanent. Increased cholesterol, weight gain, high blood sugar, decreased white blood cells, unusual urges, dizziness on standing, seizures, trouble swallowing may occur. When depression sets you back, keep moving forward. Talk to your doctor about adding Rexulti to your antidepressants.
See you later, Tuesdays.